Hi folks, Dave Skozik here for another version of PR Delaware. Today I've got some very interesting people. Master Corporal Mark Hoffman from the Dover Police Department, who will talk about the outreach programs that they are involved with and ways that they are fighting crime. And also we're going to hear from Captain Josh Bushweller of the Delaware State Police, head of the Community Outreach Unit, where they want to reach out to the community and make them feel comfortable and find out what it is that they can do to promote better police work. And finally, we'll talk about two special events coming up this November. Stick around. Hi, Dave Skozik here with PR Delaware. One of my guests today is Master Corporal Mark Hoffman from the Dover Police Department. A lot of good things going on down here, and we're going to tell you about them. Mark, glad to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Tell me about some of the things that the Dover Police Department is doing, in addition to fighting crime and making people feel safe, that the outreach that you're involved with in order to accomplish that.
Sure. So in 2013, we launched our social media programs, Facebook, Twitter, and our new revamped website, doverpolice.org, in order to connect with the community. We realized that our citizens are using smartphones and the internet to obtain their news, obtain their information, and get up-to-date information on a regular basis instead of traditional media. So by using those methods, we've been able to connect with the public in a way that has been unprecedented before.
So are you getting good feedback from that?
Yeah, absolutely. So to date, we probably have close to 40,000 followers between all of our social media accounts.
40,000 followers?
That's correct. So we have 30,000 alone on our Facebook page, and then when you combine the other followers and subscribers we have to our other sites, it's probably closer to about 40,000. But on a daily basis, we're reaching anywhere from 5 to 100,000 people on our post in Dover, outside of Dover, and it's helping us solve crimes, connect with the community, and do a lot of community outreach initiatives as well.
I was going to ask, is it interactive? Do people make comments to you in addition to giving you clues about crimes? Do they
Absolutely.
talk to you?
Yes, they do. So we get a lot of feedback, a lot of comments, a lot of positive things about the police department. We also answer questions through social media. We get private messages giving us tips to solve crimes and other information as well.
I imagine it's pretty good for recruitment too.
Yes, it's been an excellent recruiting tool. So anytime we hire, we put out photos of our recruits going through the academy. We put out the application, downloadable online, and we also put out that we're hiring for that time frame, and people will learn through our learn about our recruiting through social media as well.
Do you visit schools?
For recruiting?
Yes.
Yes, we visit the various colleges and universities and high schools in the area as well.
Now, how about like schools to explain to the kids, maybe middle school kids, what you do?
Yes, we have school resource officers that are placed in the school districts or schools in Dover. So we have one in Central Middle School, one in William Henry Middle School, one in Dover High School, and one recently in the Parkway Academy as well. And those officers are in there to build a rapport with the students, and not only just enforce the rules, but to build a rapport with the students and form those friendships and bonds that'll help them understand that the police are there to help them, but also as a recruitment tool as well.
In fact, I read in the paper that you're also involved with putting information out on things that are found, lost and found, where people can come in and claim them.
That's correct. So 2 weeks ago, we launched a Pinterest page for the Dover Police Department, Lost and Found. And I work with our evidence technician, Dean Anderson, and he provides photos and information about all the lost and found items that we haven't been unable to contact the owners. And we've been putting the information up there, and so far we've put just under 100 items online, and we've recovered we've reunited owners with about a dozen items so far within that 2-week span.
That's one way to build a good relationship with the community.
Absolutely. I think it goes to show that the Dover Police Department is willing to look at innovative ways to use technology to connect with citizens and do their job.
Now, in terms of YouTube, I know you made a big splash a couple of months ago, or at least the police department did, with the video with the Shake It Off. Tell me about that.
It's just a small part of what our social media unit does. I mean, granted, we hit, I think it's up to 36 million views so far on YouTube alone. And obviously it gained worldwide attention and drew a lot of interest to the city of Dover, which has been great for us. But ultimately, what the impact that mattered was locally here in our community.
Sure.
So, whether I hit 5,000 people or 5 million people, or in this case 36 million people, the most important opinion to me is the 38 to 40,000 people that reside in Dover. And if they can see our police department as having a sense of humor, as being human, as being approachable, then that's ultimately a success for me.
So in addition to, to having that outreach success, you're also doing something with the shoplifters by posting their pictures, is it?
Yes, so every Friday we have our Facebook Friday feature, and we go through a 7-day span. We post all of the mugshots from our shoplifting cases.
Oh my
And
gosh.
what we've been able to do is actually drop our shoplifting cases by 12% in 2014. And during the 4-month span that we tried it in 2014, from August until December 31st, compared to the same time frame in 2013, it was a total of a 19% drop in that
19%.
time frame. So 12% overall for the entire calendar year. And we've also learned that stores are actually printing or saving the files and using them as tools to catch shoplifters in their stores. We know several stores, secondhand retail stores, are actually using them to identify people that might be selling stolen merchandise to them as well.
I think if I were a criminal, I would not like Facebook Friday.
We tend to find that the people are more concerned about their picture going up on social media
Sure.
than they are the punishments or the fines from the shoplifting charge themselves. So it definitely has worked as a deterrent.
That's exactly the word I was going to use. It's got to be a great deterrent,
It
even
has.
for people who are thinking about doing something bad. They might say, you know what, I won't do it here, I won't do it, or I'll go somewhere else to do it.
Yes, it's definitely been one of our more popular features, and like I said, it's been proven effective.
Now I understand you've also got some additional officers on the force.
That's correct. So we just graduated 5 officers from the Delaware State Police Academy. They attended a 6-month academy. They're currently on field training where they spend 10 weeks with a seasoned officer to learn the ropes of Dover Police Department, and then they'll be cut loose on patrol on their own. And then we just hired 6 more officers. One of them is certified. He's originally from Felton, and he'll be joining us here soon. And then we have an additional 5 going into the police academy in a few weeks.
And you've got some cadets patrolling the streets as well, as I recall.
That's correct. I think we have 6 cadets currently. We're looking to hire 3 more, bring us a total of 9. And those cadets will be in charge of patrolling the downtown areas as well as the Dover Library. And we are working on getting them. We're working on getting them to be able to work in other areas of the city as well, different neighborhoods and stuff.
Now, if somebody wanted to inquire about your programs or maybe have somebody come out to speak to their organization, who would they contact? Would that be you?
They can contact me through doverpolice.org. There's a contact submission form, or they can contact the community policing unit as well.
Okay, and that, of course, will be on the screen, doverpolice.org.
That's correct.
So people can get back to you. Is there anything else that you would like to add? I mean, you folks are doing a great job, I know that, in the community with the outreach and with the crime reduction and by publicizing the bad guys, so to speak, to keep them at bay. Anything you would like to add in closing?
We're proud to serve the city of Dover, and I think the Dover Police Department is really good at finding innovative ways to reach out to the public and continue the communication and to ultimately fulfill their goal of solving crimes and taking bad guys off the street.
It's a good close.
All right. Thank
I've
you.
been with Master Corporal Mark Hoffman. Dave Skosick. We'll be right back. Stick around. Hello, welcome back. We are back with Captain Josh Bushweller of the Delaware State Police. He's the Community Outreach Officer. And we're talking to him today about issues that affect all police departments today with the trouble around the country and such. And today the smart police departments are reaching out to the community, solidifying those contacts, making certain that they are talking to the public as well as the public talking with them. So Captain Bushweller, Josh,
Yes, hi,
so
Dave.
glad to meet you.
Good to meet you.
I
Thanks
heard
for
you
having
speak
me.
last week, and you did a wonderful job at the Rotary Club, and I thought I'd invite you back to talk about the outreach efforts that you're overseeing right now.
Well, that sounds great. I appreciate you having me, and I look forward to sharing the great things that are happening with the Delaware State Police with a lot of your viewers.
Okay, so tell me about outreach, the community outreach. It's got to be a focused job. I know many things that you talked about. Let's cover some of those points. One of them, maybe the honorary commander program, a little bit higher level.
Sure. One of the things we saw within the Delaware State Police, we do a great job with our community outreach, but we saw that there wasn't a lot of consistency and collaboration amongst the various troops across the state. So we've kind of brought that together in a more coordinated effort to bring some more balance and consistency to our overall efforts towards community outreach. And there are 4 new initiatives that we're really excited to talk about, to share with the public, that you're going to see coming from the Delaware State Police early this fall. One of them being the Honorary Commander Program. You may be familiar with the Dover Air Force Base.
Yes.
They have an Honorary Commander Program as well. And essentially the point behind the program is to pair local leaders, community leaders, civic leaders, church leaders, some of our local government officials with commanders within the Delaware State Police. We want to open our doors. We want to bring these people into our organization and expose them to what it is like to be a trooper. We would in turn hope that the honorary commander, whomever that may be out in the community, will bring us into their organization and show us whatever it is that they're a part of.
Do you approach them or do they approach you?
We will identify potential leaders in the community that could serve as an honorary commander, and then we will reach out to them and ask them if this is something that they would be interested in.
Now, I know different organizations, particularly businesses, will do a focus group with the
Right.
community. I understand you're involved with that
Absolutely.
as well.
We see a value in having the citizens' input in our efforts in the community. Now, we're going to initiate a community focus group, community outreach focus group, where again, we're going to identify people in the communities who are in touch with what's happening in their communities as far as what they're interested in seeing the Delaware State Police provide as far as presentations and as far as awareness, things of that sort that might be beneficial to the community. So we will have a focus group in each county throughout the state where troopers from our community outreach unit will be on. We'll also have some citizens on this committee, and the goal is to examine and look at our practices, our programs that we're offering in the communities, and is this beneficial to you and to the other members of the community? If so, we'll continue it. If it's not, what would be beneficial to you? What can we do? What can we offer to help make the community safer?
How are those folks picked for the focus group?
Well, we're lucky. We've got a lot of outstanding people across the state that are willing to work with us and have worked with us in the past in trying to make their communities safer. And we will look at those people. We will see who might bring some divergent opinions to us. You know, we're real big on not only diversity in general being involved in the community, but people who think differently, people who have different opinions about things.
So you may call them. You read somebody in a paper who has opinions on a regular basis.
Well, I wouldn't say that we'll call them, but like I said, we've had this network, a group of people we work with consistently now that help us with various things, but we don't have a formal community outreach focus group that we are going to put this together and meet on a quarterly basis.
I was going to ask you, how often do you meet on a quarterly
Yeah,
basis?
we'll meet
Okay,
on we'll
all right.
meet on a quarterly basis, and if needed, we'll meet more often than that. One thing I would like to add, you know, we've got some other great agencies in the state doing great community outreach efforts as well, like Dover Police Department, the Newcastle County Police Department, and those agencies will also be asked to serve as a part of this committee as well, because law enforcement traditionally likes to look to see what other agencies are doing, and we would like to benefit from some of the programs other agencies offer, and we would hope that some of the other police agencies might adopt some of the programs we do as well.
I heard the term community cafe mentioned in your speech. Tell me
Yes.
about that.
Yeah, community cafe, it's great. Historically, people tend to go to the police station or to the troop to seek police services. One of the things, we conducted focus groups across the state last year, again, with the idea of seeing what people would be interested in from the Delaware State Police. One of the things that came up was the fact that, you know, we'd be interested in having meetings not at a troop or not at a police facility, but maybe in our communities. So the idea came up with a community cafe. We have 8 troops across the state, each commanded by a captain. We are going to have our captains, who are the troop commanders, host a community cafe on a quarterly basis as well, where they will go out in a public venue. It could be a McDonald's, it could be a local restaurant in a local community, where they'll basically do a meet and greet for 2 hours and invite the public to attend. And they'll be armed with information. They'll be armed to be able to talk with citizens about the crime occurring in their area,
And
about
these are
traffic
advertised in
issues.
the media
Yes,
ahead
they'll
of
be
time?
publicized through our public information office. So citizens can be aware of when it is, where it is, and who will be attending.
Interesting. How many have you done already? Or
Well, again, we haven't done that yet. That's
All right.
something, it's one of the new initiatives that's going to start early this fall.
It sounds like a great concept, a great idea to reach out to. I imagine it will probably help in crime solving as well.
It will. Oftentimes, again, people are reluctant to come to a police station, to come to a state police troop to provide information. However, if we're out in your community, in your home, or in your place of comfort, they'll be more willing to talk with us.
I guess people will be identified who they can speak with if they do want to report a crime or they want to anonymously let let an officer know what's going on?
That's exactly right. And one of the things we'll do with this community cafe as well is we'll bring some of the troopers out that work in that area, so some of the citizens who live in a certain area can have an opportunity to meet some of the men and women who provide police services to them as well.
So you also mentioned about a recognition program.
The Citizens Recognition Program, again, law enforcement, most people's dealing with law enforcement, sadly, is from probably a negative perspective. Now, you may be a victim of a crime, which is not a good thing, obviously. Something's happened to you or your home. Or you may have been speeding, which does happen, right? It happens. We get called for speeding. Or worse, you may have been a victim of an assault or a serious crime. My point being is most of contact with law enforcement comes in a reactionary method of a negative aspect to it. So we want to change that. We want to flip that, basically. And we know a lot of people in our communities do great things. We see it every day. Our troopers up and down the state witness people doing great things. However, other than thank you very much for helping us with this, that's the extent of it. We would like to have a formal recognition program where we'll provide a formal letter from our troop commander in that area, wherever this may have occurred, thanking them for their efforts, and then select a Citizen of the Year.
So what kind of efforts will we be talking about? Somebody who helped to prevent a crime, or?
It could be anything from someone who is witness to a crime, who intervenes to help resolve the crime. It could be someone, who we're driving through a parking lot and someone helps an elderly woman across the parking lot carrying her groceries. It could be someone who mentors a child in our local schools. It could be a myriad of things, but the thing being, it has to be something, a positive contribution to the community.
Well, I know there's a lot of positive folks out there who clearly support the police and clearly support a safe community, and we do appreciate. What's the website people can go to for more information?
www.dsp.delaware.gov.
DSP being for Delaware State Police.
dsp.delaware.gov. We also have a Facebook page. You can go into Facebook and Google, not Google, but look at the Delaware State Police. You can get our Facebook page. There's a lot of information on there as well.
Ladies and gentlemen, my guest today has been Captain Josh Bushweller of the Community Outreach Unit statewide, and we'd like to thank him for being with us. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Dave. Thanks for having me.
Have to have you back.
I'd love to come back.
Okay.
Absolutely.
We'll be right back.
Hi, welcome back here to PR Delaware. Tim Qualls filling in for Dave Skosick. Well, he couldn't interview himself, so that's why I'm doing it. And this is a very important thing that we need to get out there. It's something that you're very heavily involved with when it comes to the veterans. But the Veterans Trust Fund, what is it and how did it come about?
Thanks for asking, and by the way, thanks for agreeing to interview me, because it'll probably be a tough subject, I don't know. But in any event, just kidding. The Veterans Trust Fund was signed into law in 2013 by Governor Markell. It was the result of a lobbying effort by a number of us, and said we really need to have this. And they said, okay, we'll do it. The legislator said, if you raise your own money, because the state's always tight for money. So a couple of us agreed to do it. We set up a statewide board. And the trust fund very simply helps veterans who run into financial difficulties. The majority of veterans of all generations do well. But there's always a couple fall between the cracks, maybe because they were injured, maybe because they came back with, bring different disabilities with them, physical, emotional. And at times they run into situations where, because of a lost job or whatever, a job that was terminated while they were gone, they can't pay the rent. They're about to be evicted, or someone has a car about to be repossessed, or someone, in one case, a World War II veteran who had not had a pair of glasses in 12 years. So the trust fund raises money, and we have a committee. They verify person's a veteran. They verify what they need. And
well, I think I hate to interrupt you, because I think it's fantastic what you're doing there, because I get to thinking about it in the Vietnam era, and the guys coming home there, really not that much of support, and you're one of those that came back from the Vietnam time, and what a difference today is compared to what that is, and then having people like yourself that experienced that bitterness on that Vietnam as a veteran coming back to now, hey, I'm not going to let that happen to these other guys that's coming back. And I don't want to say the trust fund is limited to the guys. You might be from the Vietnam era and need that. I mean, so you guys are opened up to all vets?
For all veterans, all generations of Delaware veterans. The money stays here. We hear issues, challenges that people have through the Commission of Veteran Affairs, because that's what the trust fund is under, the Commission of Veteran Affairs. And I am the president of the Friends of Delaware Veterans, which is the fundraising arm for the trust fund. That way they can keep clear. They have all of their duties to do.
Yeah. What is the cost of raising the funds themselves? Because and once the funds are raised, because where does the money? How much? Because I've messed with a lot of charities, and we raise $1.90 of it goes to somewhere else, 10 cents goes to So where does all that money go?
That's pretty common. Where if you ask these people who call up on telephone solicitors, it's often they only return 10 to 15 cents on a dollar. They have to tell you if you ask them. We return 100% on a dollar because we're all volunteers and we work under the auspices of the commission, as I mentioned, and they're very helpful in the things that we do. So we have different fundraisers. People can contribute directly. They can go to our website, DelawareVeteransTrustFund.com, and it has information about what I was talking about, who we help, how we help. They are screened, and we pay the money directly to the vendor. We don't give any money out to the veteran who comes in. We want to make sure his or her bills are paid.
Yeah, because you don't want to get into the situation where that money's they get the money and they say, well, I'm going to do this versus paying for the mortgage.
Human nature being what it is.
Oh yeah, give me some cash. We're all that way, and especially when times are hard.
Yes, exactly.
And you got so much pressure on you from different things and everything. And there's nothing worse than coming back. You mentioned it, and the job's not here. You had to go serve, and you got back here, and your job's, and I just can't see any employer doing that, but it happens, Dave.
It does happen, and again, sometimes there's an injury involved, sometimes psychological readjustment, but it affects the whole family. Here's somebody who's been away from his or her family for months at a time, often multiple times, and we really feel for these folks, and they need money quickly, prevent the car being taken away. And one thing that's good about this, and people tend to be very receptive to helping our current veterans, because that's really what it's all about. They allow us to sit here and do exactly what we are doing. All the money that is contributed is tax deductible, which is another nice thing. 100% goes to Delaware veterans. It's all tax deductible.
Once again, another way people can get involved and contribute and go to the website, I believe it is.
They can go to our website, DelawareVeteransTrustFund.com, and it'll come up with the background information. We're putting a link on there where people can contribute directly. And I'm going to have my information on there too. They can contact me directly if they want to have somebody speak about it. We've got a great board, and the board's listed on there. And my address is dskosik@AOL.com, which will be on there, and it'll be on the screen as well.
And you do different fundraisers, because we got to put together fundraisers, and you're always looking for companies to help contribute and help.
Amen. Thank you for bringing that up. We've got two big fundraisers coming up: two $100 a plate black tie optional dinners, one in Dover at the Monomaturity Center on Friday, November 6th.
Nice place.
Right around, absolutely. Right around Veterans Day, and then another one for the first time at the Clarion Bell Hotel in Newcastle. Beautiful place. That's going to be on Saturday, November 14th. Information will be online about how people can contribute and also be there. But we also want to let people know that we are still looking for a major sponsor. There will be entertainment. There will be great food, plated, served food. There will be an auction and this sort of thing. So, and it's all for a great, great cause.
Yeah, and what it takes is the less that you have to spend to put that on, the more it can go toward the veterans. So if you've got a company out there that wants to be, and it doesn't have to be just one sponsor, you're looking for multiple sponsors,
Exactly. Right.
So anybody that wants to get involved company-wise, especially the major corporations that's out here, we've got a lot of them in the state of Delaware. What a great way to get some exposure to people that they really need to expose to.
And again, we're coming up on the final quarter of the year, where companies and individuals very often say, gosh, I need to give a little bit more money away. I need a tax deduction. DelawareVeteransTrustFund.com, we can help you out there. 100% of what you give is tax deductible.
And it all can't go to a better cause as far as I'm concerned. I'm a veteran, and you're a veteran. My dad was 32 years, so a die-hard military guy. And I'm glad to see that you've set this up and put it in place. Like you said, they said, yeah, you can do it, but you got to go make your own money. So you can get involved. Again, one more time, that website, Dave.
DelawareVeteransTrustFund.com, and they can call. There's a number there. There's an email there. They can contact me directly about having someone come out and address their organization or their business about what it is that we do. We'd love to talk to them. We'd love to We love helping our fellow veterans. They
And a
they
good
deserve
night,
it.
Good night out on the town.
Oh, my gosh, yes.
On once again, the dates on those.
It'll be Friday, November the 6th in Dover at the Modern Maturity Center, and then Saturday, November 14th at the Clarion Bell Hotel.
Well, you
in,
just backed it right up, one right
up-
behind you. You're
up
going
in
to party your
Newcastle.
party, aren't you? Yeah, but it's good cause, good time.
Well,
you know,
there'll be a band there. We're also going to have Sarah Ann Garrison there, who won the Rising Star
right.
Award in Nashville last year. She sung at us before. There's people standing
What
up
a
there.
sweetheart! Yeah.
Oh my gosh, she's good.
I watched her from the time she came on.
She'll
She's
be at
really,
both events.
Yeah, she's going to be a big talent in this, in this
Oh,
area, beyond this
absolutely.
area. So she's doing really well. She's going to be there. So a lot of things going on. Veterans are going to be involved. It's time for us to wrap things up. So I'm going to let you do the ending of the show and turn the show back over to you. Thank you for letting me come on and interview you, Dave Skosic. Go ahead and end it up, buddy.
Tim, thanks so very much. Today we interviewed two folks, one from the Dover PD, another one from the Delaware State Police, and I had Tim here who interviewed me, returned the favor. I think he did at least, but it was great. It was great to be with you. Tune in next week where we've got some wonderful guests, and we look forward to seeing you there. Take care.